me again for another night of Facebook Live. It is indeed a blessing to be here with you. And I also want to give a shout out to those that join me on the replay from YouTube and or SoundCloud. I am your host, Tricia Bray Smith, author, educator, and public speaker. Tonight we're going to talk about we're going to address the question, what if somebody judged you too soon? What if somebody judged you too soon? So it is a night of reflection. It is a night of just really honing in on some of the things that we do subconsciously that we really aren't giving thought to, especially when it comes to our young men and women who are graduating and making the decisions for their transition in life, because it is a huge transition from being home with parents and being tended to and having our needs met for us, and then moving off to college or moving off into the real world per se, to where we're now in the jobs and in our careers and having to make adult decisions while we're continuing to grow and develop. Hello, Diane. Thanks for joining me tonight. So I thought that this topic tonight is necessary for us to sit and just have the discussion, guys. What if somebody judged us too soon? What if somebody judged me too soon? I am 44 years old. I'm 44 years of age. And I'm just now beginning to come into me. I am just beginning to learn who I am. I am just beginning to understand why I've always felt like I was different all these years. So let's just be real. What if, rewinding the clock back 30 years ago, what if somebody judged me too soon and said I would be nothing? Or judged me when I was struggling with anxiety and depression? Or judged me when I was insecure in relationships? Or judged me when, I was just having a difficult time processing the issues that were going on in my life? What if they counted me out? What if they said I would be nothing or nobody? What if they labeled me one thing or another? And what if I never really woke up one day to live up to my potential? And so this is where I want us to look at tonight, because I think it is, with everything that's going on in our nation, with everything that's being said, with people being angry, and we don't really know how to process all of these emotions and feelings that are being stirred up, we begin to project that anger or those emotions upon those that are closest to us. So guys, I want to just hone in with you guys and just ask you to think. Just take a moment to think. What if somebody judged you too soon? You may be like me, in over 40, and just now trying to figure this thing out. Just now getting secure enough in your careers. Just now getting secure enough in your retirement. Just getting secure enough in the transitions that you've had to make over the last 2 or 3 years. What if your mindset is just now beginning to shift? That you're able to see things a little bit differently than you did 5 or 6 years ago. Heck, even 5 or 6 months ago. In the last 5 or 6 months, our whole world as we knew it has been turned upside down. right? So the only thing that we can do from this point is to really think and hone in, or we wait in a pity party and wait for somebody to come do it for us. But most of us have really taken a look at ourselves. We're really taking a look at the direction that life is going, and we're honing in. And by any means, we're determined that we're going to make it. And by all means, we don't really see people, we don't really see things the way we used to. Because when crisis come, it brings things in a whole new light. We see things in a whole new perspective. So, what if somebody had judged you too soon? Would they know the person that you've become today? It's one thing that I know is that the things that I've been through, the addictions that I've had, the insecurities that I've had to overcome, the traumas that I've been faced with, the pains that I've known throughout my life, all of those things work collectively to produce what you see sitting in front of you. I can't discount any of it. So one thing I would like for us to be careful of is trying to judge people too soon and speaking words over people by what you see them do or where you see them at based on your perception today. Did you know that every time you tell a child she is going to be nothing, or that he is just like his sorry daddy, did you know that for every word you speak in that context against a young person, or even against us in our grown ages, did you know it takes somebody else coming back to say something positive to them 16, 17, 18 times to undo that one thing? One negative thing that we speak into the most impressionable people in our lives. We can't be that any longer, guys. We can't. I'm sitting here thinking, at the age of 21, I was an alcoholic. I would go to work and do work. Really wasn't focused on no career. Wasn't in a steady relationship. I was laying down with people I didn't even barely even know what the name was. So I'm sitting here and I'm thinking about all of that. And for somebody to know me at 21 and all my mess, and to now look at me at 44, and Lord knows how I survived this long. Let's just be honest, because there are times that we look back and we think we should have been dead and could have been dead and shouldn't have overcome some things. What if somebody had counted me out and discounted me and judged me from who they knew? And they spoke those words over me, and those words hit so hard that I was never able to evolve or become the woman that I am today. That means you don't see the educator before you today. That means you don't hear positive, encouraging words coming from my mouth today. That means you don't read the pages of my book today. That means you don't sit in my classroom for me to teach you today. Because all of that was in that 21-year-old struggling through issues that she's had since she was a little girl. All of what you see today, All of what you think you know about this woman sitting in front of you today, talking to you tonight, was in that little 21-year-old, was in that little 5-year-old girl, was in that little 1-year-old child. So guys, we have really got to get a handle on our perceptions, because at the end of the day, this is where it all matters. Our mindset, and our mindset is directing those words that are coming out of our mouths and speaking over these children. And let's just get this straight. Some of us, we're not only speaking it to or about other people's children, we're doing it to our own. We're saying words over our own. We're judging our own. Did you know if a child has a problem, I just talked about it last night, there's a root cause to the issues that any of us deal with? None of us have behaviors just to be doing the things that we do. There is a root cause for everything that is manifested before our eyes. So what if somebody judged you too soon? What would they miss out on today? Because you can't tell me you're sitting here with your sanctified self at 40-something years old, at 30-something years old, at 50-something years old, at 60-something years old, and you've always had it together. That you've never done anything wrong. No, we are evolving. That is what we do. And everything, good or bad, in our lives, from the time we took our first breath, all of those things are working together to create the masterpiece that we are. But sometimes we get so stuck in our own stinking thinking that we've arrived to a point to where we feel like it's okay that we can judge others and say they're not going to be nothing. Judging what they do. We never give thought to the reasons or the issues that lie beneath the surface. Because I can guarantee you, my issues, as I look at them every day and decide how I'm going to deal with them, there's an underlying cause for everything that I deal with and that I struggle with on a personal level. And you know, one of the root causes at the bottom of it all is fear. Exposing myself to the point to where somebody's going to judge me prematurely. Because I'm still trying to figure this thing out. You know, guys, that is why I found so much peace in writing my books. I'm able to express in a way that is free and that it gives me some release. I can vent and I can share and I can give my perspective of things without being judged too soon. Because we all know that there is no one way fits all that fits everybody. There may be some things that you've been able to overcome that I have not been able to overcome. I'm still struggling with it. But there are some areas to where I feel like I'm a little stronger, and that those are areas to where we can help each other a little bit. But who wants to have a conversation with somebody that wants to judge and pick apart everything that goes on? It just does not work that way, guys. And you wonder why our babies won't talk to us? You wonder why our babies want to go somewhere else to talk to somebody that they feel like won't judge them? Because regardless of what we do, regardless of the mess we're in, regardless of the areas of where we are stuck in our lives, none of us want to be judged too soon. So I pose the question to you again. What if you were judged too soon? And I know that so many of us have been. And the most hurt is when it comes from those that we felt like should have been supporting us or encouraging us or in our corner. And it seems like they turn their backs on us, or they put us down or beat us down when we're already in a hard place. That's when the hurt gets really hard. That's when we find ourselves sinking faster and faster into our insecurities and our addictions and whatever issues that we're dealing with. And emotionally, we're just in a roller coaster. If somebody could take our brains and put it on the forefront and show it for everybody to see, some of us that put on a show like we got it all together, the world will soon see we really don't. We really just trying to figure this thing out. So what would make one judge another too soon? What's the root cause of that? What does judging somebody anyway going to profit any of us? Did you know that regardless of what you see a child do, did you know that regardless of what you really think in your mind, if you find a way to speak life to situations that appear dead, did you know that you possess the power when you speak those words to resurrect? And this is what my purpose is. This is why I come to try to speak positive words of motivation and encouragement to people, is because regardless of what it looks like with my eyes, I'm perceiving it through my mind. But then I understand that even regardless of what it looks like, there's a power that lives in me that all I have to do is to speak life. And when you speak life, the seed is planted, and eventually it will begin to manifest. So, guys, I want to encourage all of us just really think about what we do and how we see things and how we perceive things. And not only that, not only in our lives, but in the lives of others. Because I don't doubt that some of us have felt like we've made so many mistakes. There is no justifying what we have done. There is no overcoming. There is no getting past this. It's so bad. But I'm here to tell you, if you happen to be one of those that haven't necessarily judged somebody else too soon, but have counted yourself out, and you judge yourself too soon, I'm telling you that because you are here, and because you still have breath in your body, and because you still have a mind, it's not too late. It's not too late. You can be 99 and a half and sitting right here ready to take your last breath. But I'm telling you, in this last moment, it's not too late. You can still evolve. You can still become. And this is what we do. We get up every day trying to figure this thing out. So in your life, in the lives of others, let's be more cautious. Not only of what we think, because there are some times that we just can't control the thoughts that play over and over and over in our minds. Sometimes we haven't got there. But we can learn enough self-control that we don't have to speak it. We don't have to speak it, guys. When we speak, we can speak words of life. We can speak words that are healing. We can speak words that resurrect. Now, I'm here to tell you, I haven't done everything right. I haven't taken all the steps necessary to get where I see myself going in life. But I keep it in front of me. I speak positive words to myself. Because if what I did or the issues I have were meant to stop me, they would have stopped me a long time ago. It would have stopped me at that 21-year-old. Experimenting with everything. I never would have lived to see 44. I never would have evolved into the woman I know that I am becoming. I would have counted myself out a long time ago. I would have used the excuses that I couldn't read. I would have used the excuses that I don't understand the terminology that people use. You know, I would have used all these excuses. I would have used the excuse of the hurt that people projected on me. But it's time out for that, guys. Now is the time to stop judging and begin to resurrect the places in our lives that if we don't begin to speak life will soon die. So I challenge you guys tonight to not judge one another too soon. Don't judge yourself too soon. There is more that you have to offer. There is more that that young woman or that young man has to offer. Don't you want to see it manifest in its greatness? Don't we need what you have? Don't we need what they have? How awesome would it be if we could all just love on one another and support one another and respect one another and see the manifestation of the kingdom at hand? Wouldn't that be awesome? Isn't that just a beautiful sight to envision in your mind? How awesome that would be, how awesome our world would be, how much more our kids can produce, how much more our communities can come together when we can just get that part right. Think about it in your mind. To me, that's just a beautiful sight. I can see it turning our communities upside down. I can see the men and women of God just standing, walking tall and in confidence and just knowing that they know what they know and grateful that regardless of what we've been through, regardless of the struggles we face, regardless of the traumas we've had to overcome, that we didn't judge one another too soon. And now we are becoming all that we were created to be. I appreciate you guys joining me tonight. And I hope that I've said something tonight that has been helpful for you during such times in which we live and we deal with from day to day. And guys, we're all going through something. Don't think that someone has it all together and we're don't have any issues. We're all trying to make it, and we're all trying to cope the best way we can. So however you're coping, however you see your children coping with the issues that are going on, however you see your sisters and brothers in Christ coping with the things that we have to deal with in today's society, it is my hope that you guys are encouraged today. And it is my hope that you guys begin to see things in a different perspective and also begin to speak life so that we can all be resurrected together. I appreciate you guys taking the time out to join me tonight. It has indeed been a pleasure to be here with you tonight. As just you being here and interacting with me tonight has been uplifting for my spirits as well. I'll be back here again tomorrow night at 10 p.m. for another night of Facebook Live. I am your host, Tricia Bray Smith. You guys have a good night.